Good evening. We're here today for our final session with Ebony Dennis, and we are going to focus on the Gestalt theory and the Gestalt approach. Ebony, hi. How
Hi,
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. So, since we have been going through our sessions the last few weeks, tell me something that you've learned about yourself that you've become aware of about Ebony.
Well, one of the things that I've become aware of is being okay. That I don't have to feel like I have to be a perfect person in an imperfect world, or that everything that I do have to be perfect. That it's okay to make mistakes. That it's okay to be okay.
That's true. It really is. So, in what ways did you find it difficult? Was it stressful for you? And if it was, in what ways? What made you feel like you had to be this perfect person?
Well, I mean, when I reflect back on childhood, you're given strict rules and strict commands as to what to follow. And it's just like, okay, this is the pattern, this is what I'm supposed to do. Follow this, follow that. Well, that begins to shape into your lifestyle as to now I have to do this. And not taking the time just to enjoy the moment. So it's important to enjoy the moment because when you enjoy the moment, it makes a world of difference. So when I say being an imperfect person in an imperfect world, it's okay to appreciate that imperfectness because that allows God to shine even more. And I'm not dependent on self.
Okay. So, in what ways have you noticed that your anxiety levels are down now that you feel you don't have to be this perfect person in an imperfect world?
Well, like we previously discussed in journaling and listening to the praise and worship music, allowing just the alone time, the time to meditate, the time to write about my thoughts, the time just to say, I'm not feeling okay today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to accept this. This is a thought or this is an emotion, but I don't have to accept it this particular moment. It's all about the choice. How do I choose to respond? So that has helped to relieve the the anxiety that I may feel because now I'm able to say no, and I'm okay with it.
So, when you say no and you're okay with that, give me an example of how you to tell your children or tell your family or tell a coworker no, whereas before you would have normally gone through with it but stressed about it.
Okay. Well, in learning to say no, here's the thing that I had to realize that first it is okay to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And in saying no, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person, but it's more of at this particular time, I just can't take that on. However, if I see that time permits, then that's something that I can approach. But at this particular time, sorry, I can't. And when I go back, whether it's to my office or to my room, I'm okay with that. Because I've let the individual know, for whatever reason, it may be that I have another deadline that I'm having to do. It's not saying that I'm not a team player, it just means at that particular time, based on the things that I'm needing to prioritize and make happen, I have to make happen. Now it's different once again we're looking at the team player approach. This is something that we all are having to have complete by a certain time. Then yes, it just allows me to reprioritize. But once again, if it's just something that I feel that at that particular time I'm not willing to take on, I'm okay in saying no, not at this time. But consider me for the next time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I noticed that when you gave the example and you say no, you don't leave it at no, but you also provide a reason why there is an answer of no. And I noticed that you also followed up with options, which
Correct.
is great.
Correct.
So I see you're doing well in that
Yeah,
area.
I am.
How has it affected your relationships with your coworkers and your children and with your husband now that you are able to say no? How has that affected those relationships?
Well, in the workplace, it's more of for the ones that tend to socialize all day
Mm-hmm.
and then wanting to have me do the work. Now they're saying, okay, I need to cut down on my socializing some because I'm not going to have that extra help that I'm used to having. And the home wise, my husband now asks if your schedule permits or if your time permits, do you mind taking this on versus do this or I need you to do this. It's more of asking if I am available. And that's something that we have to all be aware of, that all because our time is our time, we also have to be considerate of others' time.
That's true. That's very true. Well, I'm glad that that approach has been working for you. I know they said your whole countenance has changed
Tell you that.
and you seem more vibrant.
Yes.
So as I understand that you've also added some extra activities to your daily, not only just your journaling and your praise and worship, as I understand it, you are now exercising.
Yeah, I decided,
About that change.
not for that journey, I decided at the end of 08, actually, I wanted to make a change. And the change, a lot of people, this is once again being an imperfect person and being okay with that. So many times we want to live up to others' expectations. And what I've learned in doing that is I have to be real with myself. So in 2008, when I decided to make that change, it was because it was something I wanted to. Not because my husband was like, oh my God, you could get away. None of that. Because he never did. But it was something that I wanted to. I'll give you a great example. I had to go across campus to share some news with one of the coaches. And I walk maybe 3 buildings over in 2 flights of stairs.
Okay.
I am out of breath, and I'm thinking, I is not serious. I'm gonna die. Well, I get to the top of the flight of the stairs, and the coach is looking at me. I'm trying to look at him, but the breath is just not there. And
Wow.
he's looking, and I'm thinking, okay, something has to change here. So I give the message, but on the way back, I decide, if I love myself this much, I have to do something different. And in doing something different, I was on a mission. And that mission was, what can I do to make myself lead a more healthy life and to be here longer for my husband, for my kids, for my family, and to just enjoy life. So I started. I mean, it was hard at first, but I had the support. I had the support at home. I had the support with coworkers. So I began just to eat a little bit at a time. The weight started to come off. So another way that I'm able to release stress is through working out. So typically my day is going to start with prayer. I have to get the spirit man in check in the workout mode, and then I go to the physical side in working out. And in that, I'm able to maintain my activity level. I'm not out of breath. I'm able, and even when I want to eat something that I don't, or I should say that I'm not supposed to eat, I can eat it in modification, and that's okay. But just that experience as to taking off the additional pounds, which in the last episode that I was able to really be free about,
Okay.
was in cleaning out my closet. And some people say, cleaning out a closet, I typically just store some things. But that was another chapter in my life. And in that is what I realized. I had clothes that others had given, but it was a part of their life. But I took on that persona, the overweightness. Never really me. So in cleaning out my closet, getting rid of all of the old things, because that was no longer me. That wasn't a part of me. I felt a sense of relief. Matter of fact, it made room for me to have a reason to go shopping, which was awesome. So in that, shedding the pounds there, as far as even in my closet, making space, and it's not anything wrong. I want you to understand that with me taking in the additional clothes, but once I realized that I had to be true to myself, it was another one of those eye-opening experiences. I remember cleaning out the closet with me. I told Desmond, I feel better. What was that for? The weight has been lifted. The pounds that I lost, the way that I viewed myself before, that part is gone. Now, keep in mind, I always see her again like a fat girl every now and then, because she appears. But then I have to remember, look where you are now. What are you doing now? What caused you to turn to food? what caused you to do this and that? And I'm able to say, and I'm okay. We can do this. We can do this.
So how do you address? I noticed that you call her that fat girl.
Mm-hmm.
You always see her, occasionally. So what do you tell her now?
First, I have to understand as far as my stressors, because she only shows up when I'm stressed.
Mm, I see.
Okay, and it's through the stressful moment that that I'm having to learn when I'm stressed not to go to view her, and when I say view her in a sense, to go turn to a carton of ice cream, or go to turn to some chips, you know, eat one.
Come on.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, you know, chips. So in that, I was able to say, okay, I noticed that my stress level is going up. So what can I do now? In doing that, okay, instead of me taking the time to have a pity party, eat the ice cream, and then feel worse after eating the ice cream, why not get on the treadmill? Why not work out? Why not go in, do a 10-minute workout with the kettlebell? Why not going outside playing around with the kids to relieve that stress, to take away that additional anxiety? So I thank God for the opportunity there, because it was through the ordeal of me having to walk 3 buildings over and realizing I'm caring about myself. Do I really love myself the way that I say I do? When I tell people I'm fine with me, am I being true to myself? And so when the weight started to come off, I'm able to
I noticed some vibrance with you.
yes,
I
yes.
noticed that. Have when you I also know that you keep a food journal. So looking back in your journal, are you able to see your stressors when you look at your daily journal and your food journal? Do you see some comparisons as the type of foods that you eat and what was going on with you that day?
Yeah. For example, yesterday afternoon, not so good news. I decided, well, I'm going to eat a little chocolate. I did. 400 calories. Okay. And then in that, I noticed that my stress level was going up. So at that point, I should have found a way, instead of turning to comfort food, I should have turned to the treadmill. Now it just means to say I have to work out an extra 45 minutes. So it's just, I have to, I'm able to relate as to, do I turn to this comfort food, or do I face the issue at hand, and how do I relieve the stress?
Have you been able to find a balance in the two so that you don't go from one extreme of the food to another extreme of over working out, over spending too much time, or stressing about the workout?
Yeah,
Have you found a balance?
yes, that I have. It's just that, that's once again, that some days I may only be able to get in a 15, 20-minute workout. Is that the end of the world? Of course not. I had an extra serving of birthday cake. Is that the end of the world? Of course not. It's just that at that particular point, I overindulge. Now, there's always consequences for our actions. Something I have to realize. Is it worth me having to work out an extra 30 minutes or half a slice of cake versus just enjoying the cake that I have and saying, okay, and realizing what my body is saying. Enough is enough. Meaning that. So yeah, and finding the balance that I have.
I can definitely understand. So tell me, what is the plan for Ebony from here on out?
Well, the plan that I have from here on is in motivating other young women. Most importantly, hurting young women, women that struggle with I'm not good enough, I'm not satisfied with myself, when I constantly beat myself up. So looking at those issues there, um, recognizing for the enemy for who he is, but also allowing that individual to actually begin to do some self-evaluation. And through that self-evaluation, what can I learn here to apply in my present time? And in that, one hug at a time, we'll reach a million.
Well, one hug at a time seems like a great place for us to stop and in our section. This is Steve. You have come a long way. I am so proud of you, and you definitely should be very proud of yourself. I feel like that you are able to now explore yourself and understand yourself so that you are able to help other
Right.
women and other young girls. So look out world, here comes a new avenue. Well, you know I'm always available if you need me. You have my number on speed off. But from here on out, at this point, I think you are ready to cut those April strings and fly. What do you think?
I think so.
How about one hug at a time?
One look at a time.
Have
Hi.
a great one.
You too.
So, as you can see with Ebony, she has come a long way. The Gestalt theory deals with a lot of self awareness, self evaluation, self reflection. It doesn't spend too much time on the past. And if we do address the past, we look at it as to how is it affecting my present behavior? How is it affecting my present thoughts, my present feelings? And as you can see, throughout the course of Ebony's sessions, you watched her grow into this person of understanding, a person who is now okay with herself. And that's what the Gestalt theory wants us to do, is to be able to do some self motivation, some self reflection, some self understanding. And I hope that this session has been enlightening for you. Thank you for enjoying or watching and just watching us grow as we watched each other grow. And have a great night.